Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. As I advertised earlier, we are going to do this show live from Field 1 down here, and I want to thank Aaron Crandall and all the crew at Field 1 for letting us come down to do this. And tonight I've got, as you can hear everybody in the background, we've got a special show tonight. I've got Oliver Lane is here with us tonight, and he's one of the great guys, one of the great players that have been around for a long, long time. And I'm just so very pleased that we get a chance to sit down and chat with him a little bit. So anyhow, I'm going to do my shout outs real quick because I want to get Oliver in here because, I'm sure Oliver and I could sit down and talk for a week about things that we've done and things that we want to do. And I'm just very, very excited to have him here. So I'm hoping everybody's going to hang tight because you're going to like this. This guy is cool as heck, and we're going to drag Alex Crazy out. And we got all kinds of people out here right now, and this is really a cool setting. I honestly wish everybody could be here to see this. This is a lot of fun down here tonight, and they make just an absolutely great marker. They make the force down here at Field 1. And the Aculock barrel. I love the Aculock barrel. It's terrific. A couple of things I want to mention real quick, though. The ICC, the Montressor Classic, is going to be July 29th through the 31st. And this is going to be at Paintball New York. And Frank and Jennifer have taken over their son Tim's tournament, and they're doing a great job because, as everybody knows, it's always about building paintball. That's what we want to do, is make paintball bigger and better all the time. And that's exactly what we're working to do. So I have to mention that. So if you get a chance, even if you're not going to play, guys, get out there and support Frank and Jennifer and just show them some love. They're working very, very hard. Like I say, the 29th and the 31st is going to be at Paintball New York. Now, before that one, we are going to have the WCPL. Now, that's another one. It's also going to be at Paintball New York. You're going to want to get out. That's June 4th and 5th. And it is the third in a series of 5. You're going to absolutely love it. Like I say, even if you don't play, get out there and support these people. That's how we build paintball. We need to all work together. If we work individually, we can do just a little bit. If we all work together, we can really do a lot. And that's what we're trying to do. So anyhow, you're going to want to do that. And then I got to mention Will Arrail. He does the Spin to Win all the time, and he's a great guy. And I've been watching his show every week when he does it, and it's pretty cool. If you get a chance, jump on, check it out, or maybe even enter this Spin to Win thing. It's absolutely terrific. And the Hall of Fame game. Now, I've got some friends going into the Hall of Fame. That's going to be at Hell's Survivors, May 19th through the 22nd. And that's at Pickening, Michigan. And if you get a chance, you're going to want to go check that out. I've got some great friends going in there. David Ruddick's being inducted this year. Ross Alexander had Line SI back in the day. He's being inducted. Thomas Gee was with Tipman for a lot of years. So if you get a chance, go support these guys. Like I say, it's all about support for everybody. You go do something like this, it makes them feel better, and it's really good for the sport of paintball. It lets everybody that's even not in paintball show that we all do care about that. So real quick, I want to give my shout outs before I drag my guest of honor out here. And this is cool. You guys are going to absolutely love to hear this guy. So my shout outs, first of all, Mr. Tim Schloss. I start with Tim every week. Tim Schloss had the original Tiger Stripe camouflage back in the day. And you guys are going to want to check it out because the original Tiger Stripe is coming back. Not a knockoff, the original Tiger Stripe, the original colors, the original patterns, and everything. And it is getting very, very close, and everybody knows there's never nothing like the original. The original is always the best. So anyhow, you want to be checking that out. And then also Tim has Gateway Paintball in St. Louis, and that's going to be the final WCPL tournament this year. And Tim has just a terrific field. You're going to love it. And then I have to give a shout out to Mr. Dan and John Colby, Immortal Air. Mr. Bud Orr, one of the greatest guys I know. I call him my big brother. He calls me his little brother because him and I are just, I just love the guy. That's about all I can say. He's just an absolutely terrific person. He really is. And Mr. Tom Kay had Airgun Designs back in the day. He was my second marker sponsor and was for years and years. And then Rainey and Juvie Boucher. Rainey and Juvie Boucher had Paintball News back in the day. You'd go out to the field, and 2 times a month, you could go out and pick up one of these papers to tell you what just happened, what was coming up, what was new, where all the fields were located. It was just an absolutely great paper. And I just feel so bad now that you guys don't have something like that. You got everything online and everything like that, but it was really cool to pick up them papers and see all of this stuff back in the day. Rainey and Juvie Boucher, names I'll never, ever forget, and I hope that you don't either. And then Mr. Randy Camilla was editor for APG. And then Jerry Braun has Paintball New York, and he was the editor for Paintball Sport Magazine back in the day. Terrific person. Mr. Ross Alexander that I mentioned earlier, who's going in the Hall of Fame this year. An absolutely great guy. Had line aside. Everybody back in the day knows about the Bushmaster. The Bushmaster was just absolutely terrific. I just loved it. And actually, I still have my very first Bushmaster that I played my very first original tournament with. Very cool. And then Jim Lively, 2 tournaments back in the day you wanted to do. You wanted to do Jerry Brown's World Cup, and you wanted to do Jim Lively's Masters. And just absolutely loved them. They were just so cool. You couldn't even believe it. Just great tournaments. It was like a family reunion going to see these guys. That's how cool it was. And then I got to mention my 2 little Gong buddies, Mark Gong Jr. and Jaden Gong. They play for the Hermans. And the Hermans is the youth paintball team that I love. All youth paintball teams. Let me start there. But these guys are in my area, and I've seen them playing from the very beginning. And I just have to give a shout out to them every week. I think they're just absolutely great. I really think they are. And so anyhow, I just I had to mention all that stuff before we get going, before I drag Alex out here. Also, if you get a chance, Combat Zone Paintball up in Oroville. That's where we had the very first WCPL tournament. I got to tell you, it's a great place. It really is. Jake Crulin and James Strutton, they work extremely hard to make everybody happy up there. And you got to see the field. It's like a Star Wars thing. It's hard to even explain, unless you go up to it. There's big concrete things you can go through, and there's a tube that's like 50 feet long by 8 feet high. It's just incredible. So, like I say, it's pretty cool. If you get a chance, Combat Zone Paintball and Airsoft up in Oroville, California, you're going to want to jump up there and check it out. So, I have given all of my shout outs. What do you see? I bring on somebody that's extremely special, a guy that's, probably one of the best players that there ever was on the planet. And he is, I've talked to him before. I've had him on the show before. He lives in Belly right now, but he's here visiting because when we did the show before, there was like an 8-second lag, and it was it kind of sucked because I just wanted to talk to him so much. I just had so much I wanted to say to him, but that 8 seconds added up over the hour, and it kind of sucked. So, everybody, please, I want you to welcome one of the nicest guys I've ever met, one of the best paintball players that has ever played the game of paintball. Please, Mr. Oliver White Cloud Lane.
How you doing?
How we doing?
I'm doing
good to see you in person, in the flesh.
Absolutely.
So I put this in, huh?
Yeah, go ahead and put it in. I'm not going to let anybody, normally I have other people come on tonight, and I take and I throw up the boxes and stuff like that, but not tonight.
Just us.
Just us tonight.
I
Yeah,
love that.
and maybe we could drag Alex out here in a while too.
Cool, yeah.
But you're here visiting right now, right?
That's right. Yeah. First time in America in about 5 years.
Wow, that long.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm reliving these American experiences that I think I took for granted for many years. Like I saw my first hummingbird the other day in 5 years, which was kind of amazing. I saw my first, had my first avocado.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, this is delicious. It was even a poppy, even the orange poppies. I'm like spellbound by them. I'm like, wow.
Even on the roadside, you're everywhere.
And they're beautiful, and I haven't seen one. So it's like when you don't see something for 5 years, and then you get to see it again with the mature eyes and a little bit more of an open heart. You're like, wow, my gosh.
Yeah.
I took it all for granted at one point.
Well, you went traveling around today with your mom.
Yeah, we did.
She loved the heck out of that.
Yeah, we did. We had a nice nostalgic memory lane of going to our old houses in Marin and seeing old places that we ate in my old high school, and yeah, it was really nice. And when she was driving, so I was just kind of the passenger, and it was like that,
sucking it all in.
It was taking me back to that time where she drove me all around, and I was a little kid, and
That is, I mean. Just memories like that are just so incredible. I'm sure all our viewers just even loved hearing that just now. But you drove around, you sucked it up, because this is where it all started for you in this area.
Totally, yeah. I mean, this was this is still a mecca of the world. Marin County is a very beautiful place, very, 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 very beautiful place. And then this is where Alex and I met, and this is where we were transplanted to Mare Island to go play paintball. And even connecting with Eric Crandall and seeing him and seeing his family, and even talking to him a little bit about paintball politics, the field owning field. It's like it's all kind of flooding through.
You just threw something out. I got to hit you with this question.
Okay.
How did you meet Alex?
We met at like a party when we were in the 7th grade, and he was actually kind of a ladies' man, believe it or not, and he had a couple of women around him that were like his friends. And he looked at me and he said, "Hey, who are you?" And I was like, "What does it matter?" And he's like, or I said something like snide, and then he came over the top and was like, "Well, I'll just call you, like shithead or stupid or something." And I was like, "Okay." And then I think I liked that for some reason. He gave me a little pushback, and then our relationship has always been a little bit of a push and pull kind of thing. And it's actually made us excellent players and excellent friends, having that type of kind of, juvenile relationship where we're always kind of pushing each other to be better and kind of messing with each other to a certain degree of healthy competitive,
a healthy back and forth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're gonna hit on your business here in a little bit, because I can't even begin to tell everybody out there. I'm not going to do it just yet, but your business has taken off like wildfire, and and you got such cool things in it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it was funny. My mom came today. She came to the operation here, and she even looked at the headband and she was like, "Wow, this is really nice. Can I have one?" And I said, "Wow, Mom, it got you too." And it was funny because she really just wants one, and I don't know, I can't explain it, but there is some sort of magic around it. Even me, what I do is when I make a line, I take a few and I send them here to Alex, and I keep a few and I put them on like kind of a little bit of an altar that I have at my house, just there under some flowers, or I have like an orchid, and I just find myself like going and picking them up every once in a while, and like looking at them and like, just even like just holding it for a second and then putting it back down. And I'm like, what is it about these things that, like, I don't get it. I personally don't get it. I don't know if anybody gets it, but there's definitely something there. And that's why it's taken fire.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's a lot of it is, you have the object there, but, it's like back in the day, I had a penny that was run over by a train. Mm-hmm. And, I'm like, every time I held that penny, everything felt better and did better. And see, that's kind of what your bands do too.
It's slightly an amulet. Yeah, it's an amulet, and that's there's some magic that's involved in that. And then, of course, there is an energy factor. They are coming from Bali, which is really a special magical place, I say. And then, I have I have a lot of creative input into it, of course. And then, of course, we interweave, like, we did a signature line with you. So there's something that kind of comes through, the force is to be into something so innocent and simple to a sense, but it's potent, and we all kind of feel it, and we know it, and we're like, wow, okay, let's put this around our head and go play paintball.
Absolutely. I forgot to put sorry about that. I forgot to put the comments. So they're up now.
Tracy Perez.
Yeah, Tracy Perez. Oh yeah. I got to tell you, I have the best viewers out there. Bud Orr watches every week. Dan Colby, Tim Schloss, from Tiger Strike.
You got real legends of the whole paintball world and who have built this whole thing up.
Yeah, absolutely love these guys. And you know what? They respect you. They all know you. They all respect you.
I really respect them.
Tim Schloss, he got to talk to Alex when I was down here last time, and I did the show with Alex. And he called me up afterwards, and he just told me, he says, "Oh my God," he says, "he sounded like a young Fred." And I told him, I says, he says, "Oliver is the same way, and you take a look at the headbands. Let's just go right there. Mm-hmm. Is that bringing people together? Now look at the excitement.
That's actually, there's a secret. It's like a secret recipe to community for some reason, and that's what we're really doing, and that's really what I think I'm in the business of, and I think you are too, and Alex is also. And we're really building community, and we're building interaction, and the more we are expanding, we're doing the coins, we're making people come together, and we're giving, like, even I was speaking to one of the guys who helps us with our visuals, and David Rome, and he was saying, they go to the field and they see somebody with a Hormesis headband and say, "Oh, what line is that?" And, "Oh, can I see it?" And then it's like an icebreaker, right? Absolutely. It's like we all want to talk to each other, but we don't know how to fully articulate it sometimes. So this is an interesting icebreaker that gives people the opportunity to meet and connect and share and talk, and maybe go into a team together, or maybe go into a business together, or maybe go into a relationship together, or whatever it is. It's
or
magic.
Even just becoming friends. There's
nice.
Nothing better than good people to have as a friend.
I mean, that's one of the most important things, is just having good friends.
Yeah, Jeff Thompson, this guy right here, said legends indeed. Now, Jeff plays with the Booney Boys he's up in Canada right now.
Cool.
He's watching us from Canada.
Love that.
And he is one of the greatest guys you ever want to meet. He's just absolutely terrific. And you know all about Tracy now, don't you?
Of course, yeah. Tracy's a longtime friend of ours, and she was working at the events, the NPPLs, and she was always such a sweetheart, and she's just always been a core member to the progression of a dynasty, and such a fan, and her son and family. And
yep. You know how I met her? You want a quick story?
You met here, didn't you?
No, I met Tracy Perez. This is Rich Wilcox here.
Cool, Rich Wilcox.
They were 14.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, Tracy Perez, I never knew her, and I got a call from Gino, he owns Velkin.
Yeah.
And he goes, Fred, he says, "I know a lady that needs some help. She's got a lung disease, and her insurance is really bad right now, and the doctor bills are building up." He goes, "Could you do something?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'd be happy to." So anyhow, make a long story short, Bill Bailey, which is normally my co-host on here, him and I got together, and I said, "Well, hey, we're going to do a benefit for her." And next thing I know, we were flooded with things to auction off. It was incredible. We ended up raising over $6,000 for it.
I mean, that's amazing. That's the power of all of this, is when we can really unite and really help each other in so many ways. And, even just the entrepreneurial aspect of it, like, if you've got a business and you want something and you need help and support and whatever it is, it's like, okay, let us help you. We want to buy that. That's cool. Or, if it's a charity or somebody needs personal help, we've been trying to figure out what is it that how we can take this to the next level, in terms of, like, essentially just kind of sponsoring people and, giving people a cash injection to go to events, or if they are sick, or, you know, if there's an emergency, you know, and I've seen that already because we have a Facebook community group, and it's a really amazing group so far. And people will, you know, something will happen. Somebody's house burns down. They throw it up there, and, you know, people just donate money. And all of a sudden, you know, they've got 30 grand. It's like, that's amazing. You know, that's so powerful, you know, and that's the unity in numbers, right? It's like paintball, right? You need 10 guys behind you at one point, you know, you're playing. And when you had more guys on one side, you could blow through that side, you know, and it's like, if we've got all each other connected, we can really help each other in so many interesting ways. It's beyond even my perspective of
you know, it's like Tracy Perez says, though, you know, it's paintball family, it's paintball strong, because, you know, I see all kinds of people that have birthdays, and their birthday wish is to raise money for a certain charity. You know, I donate to every one of them too.
Yeah.
And so you know, they're asking for something for somebody else, not for themselves.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so that's what and that's what builds paintball, you know, because people on the outside, they'll see this happening, Oliver, and they'll go, wow, you know, this must be a pretty good group to stand tall and work like that. And you know, that's what you've done with, believe it or not, with the Hormesis thing. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Hormesis. Yeah, it's actually an interesting name. Do you know what it means?
I was getting into that. Yeah. You know what? We actually looked it up, and we came up with 8 or 9 different meanings.
Yeah.
So what is the true meaning for you?
Well, it's really that zone. It's a special zone that you can obtain or get into, and it's like working out to that perfect place where you've exercised your body, and you've you know, you've built strength, but you don't go beyond it where you create pain, or, you know. And so the hormetic state is where you want to be living in, and it's a little bit of pressure, not too much pressure, just enough pressure, you know. It's a little bit of difficulty, a little bit of exertion, but not too much, you know. And again, if it's too little, then that's bad also. So, you know, you need to exercise enough. If you don't exercise, you know, you go into you know, you just can't gain any muscle. So you need to do a little bit, not too much, not too little.
Yep.
Right.
I'm getting better, actually. You know, for a while there, I looked like the Ninja Turtle with a shell on backwards. But you know, I kind of worked it off here. And I still get out and play a little bit too.
Good,
so
good, good.
Matthew Lund, I'm going to pop you up there, Matthew. Go ahead, Dara. That's pretty good. We should all be a big paintball family. Well, you know, this guy here, along with his partner, Alex, you know, I don't know if you had that in mind when you started the Hormesis thing. I don't know. I think that you just were making headbands, and I'm sure you had some kind of feeling about it, but I don't think that you even dreamed how it would explode. No. I don't care what site I get on. It's on it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, it came through in a somewhat of a divine message kind of came through to me, and it said paintball headbands, like, and you have to listen to those things when they come through, and I don't know where it's going to go and what's going to happen from it.
It's going pretty good.
It could have been just, you know, I could have learned something from that, and maybe it goes on the next thing. But the point is that you have to listen to those internal messages. And so, to answer your question, I didn't know that it was going to go to where it is now. And I also see that this is also still in a very infantile stage of something, and it's still evolving, and it's evolving very fast. And, you know, just like Matthew Lund said, you know, we are a big paintball family. There is some unfortunate divisions within paintball. You know, it's whether it's you're on the East Coast or you're the West Coast, or you're a dye gun guy, or you're a eclipse gun guy, whatever it is, or you're on this team and you're on that team. We are a big family, and we have to remember that. And there's an interesting thing that the Hormesis headband did was it kind of wove everybody together. So you could be an eclipse gun, and you could be a field one gun, but all of a sudden you had a common bond.
Right.
And paintball has always been that, but because it is also somewhat competitive to a certain degree, you forget that. And I think that now we're kind of starting to remember that, and we're starting to show up for each other more so in that aspect than ever before, you know. And it takes time. Like I was young, and I was very competitive, and, you know, I pushed people aside, and I judged certain situations and certain fields or leagues or teams. And it took me to be able to exit the game, to be able to put it in perspective, to realize how we are just one big family. Right. And now this goes beyond in the whole paintball thing. Also, we are a big human race together, you know?
Right.
And so as you keep kind of, you know, going further and further with your perspective and expanding and looking down on it, you see, okay, actually, yeah, okay, you're this color, you're that color, you're this gender, you work here, you make this much money, you make this much money. And when you can keep going past, you look at it and you say, we're actually just all the same people here doing the same thing in so many different ways, you know? So we've just distilled it into paintball, and now we've distilled it into hormesis. And I think that once we gain that kind of traction, we can kind of open up more channels towards even just humanity, right?
Right. Oh, you're absolutely right. You know, you know, back in the day, you know, I had Constant Pursuit, which we are putting back together again
Cool.
right now. And anyhow, you go back and you look at the players on Constant Pursuit. I had all races. I
Yeah.
had women.
Yeah.
You know, it was just to me, it just boiled down to if you were a good person
Yeah.
and you felt like working hard to play hard.
Totally. Well, I was just talking to Kiko outside about this, and he was saying, he said something interesting. He's like, yeah, you don't really know someone until you actually meet them, and until you meet them, you know, you might have ideas about who they are and, you know, how they act and, you know, whatever. But then once you meet them, you kind of dissolve all those boundaries. You say, oh, I really like this guy. He's really nice. He's exactly like me. Or I really like her. She's very similar to me. And that's what we got to keep doing in humanity and paintball and whatever it is. It's just dissolving these boundaries and just coming closer together and helping each other. And we are in a very peculiar time with what's happening in the last 2 years. You know, we almost put up more boundaries and separated and stayed away and socially distanced ourselves. And I think we learned a lot in that time, because now we want to come in closer and we want to give those hugs and we want to be, you know, tighter with our friends. And we you know, we were so distant from them for some time. So
yeah, so I want to be one again. You know, that's how it is. You know, I never really got to meet you.
No, we never met. This is our first time ever meeting in person.
Absolutely right. But you know, I did a little research on you. You know, that's just how it works.
Well, you were such a mystic character.
You came up just, I mean, 2 thumbs up just all the time. Everybody that knew you, you know, especially, you know, your play. That's the first thing. You know, you just rocked out there, and everybody. You know, I asked everybody. I says, "Who do you think the best player on the planet was?" You know, and Albert Lane came up all the time. You know, now there's few of you guys. You know, all of Dynasty is a great team.
Yeah.
But your name just kind of came up all the time. So
well, you know, there's
something you excelled at.
There's aspects to the game that are, you know, pretty clear. Like, okay, let's be a good player. What does that mean, right? And then you can evolve that into like, okay, let's be an excellent player. How can I help everybody else become really great at this game? You know, and how can I be a team leader? And how can I be a kind of a poster boy for the sport? You know, like there's so many levels of being a good player, and there's a lot of really good players out there, and then there's very few that actually kind of transcend that into the next, you know, the next thing of that, which is bigger. And then you can go above and beyond that. And what I'm learning is there's trapdoors into everything, and you can become an excellent human being, you know, and you become an excellent father, and you can become an excellent business owner and a you know, whatever the thing is that you mentor, you know. So there's so many stages of this thing, and that's what I you know, that's actually what I got from paintball, and the deepest, most profound, you know, mystical thing of it is, okay, well, look, if I can be really good at this, well, I can be really good at being a human being, you know.
You know, that's like being popular. There's no real secret to it. You know, if you're nice to somebody, it always comes back to you.
That's
you know, that's exactly how I got to be where I was.
That's
you know,
yeah.
And I tell everybody, you know, I'm not blessed for who I am. Yeah. I'm blessed for who I know. And without paintball, I would not have got to know.
Yeah.
I mean, my best friends are in paintball.
Yeah.
Period. Cut and dry.
Yeah.
And you are definitely one of them now. You are you're just like everybody said you were going to be. And I could not wait to meet you. When we did the thing in Ballet, the back and forth, I was going nuts, man. I'm going, because I have to wait for you to answer. And there's so much I wanted to say to you, you know, and now I can just sit right here and just wrap it right
Yeah. Well, I've got so many questions for you too.
Look at that one though. What is the best lineup you ever played on? And who is the one player that you never played with that you would love to have played paintball with?
Good question. Well, I mean, the best lineup, it's definitely clearly Alex, Ryan, Yosh, you know, myself, and maybe Angel Fergozo or BC, you know, in the heyday of Dynasty. the best player that I never got to play with would definitely be Archie Montemare, who's playing on Dynasty now, who was, slightly an inspiration to me, saying, oh, well, if I go back, I get to play with I get to play with Archie, so I'd be fulfilled myself in that aspect. But Archie's an amazing player, and we talk a lot about the game and philosophy on life, and we see things very similarly. And I think that if anything, he's just a spitting image of me if I was playing now, with a little bit different flavor. And so I think that he's a perfect match for Dynasty. And, they're going to probably win every event this year.
Oh, I believe
because they're stronger. Archie was on X Factor. Now X Factor is not as strong. There's a lot of things that happen within the league to kind of dilute the other teams. And now Dynasty is just fortified even more. And they've been on a streak, and they're having more fun. They're playing at a level that's, I don't know. I didn't know that existed in sports.
Absolutely.
Degree, yeah.
But they're in tune with each other. That's the whole deal.
They're operating on a totally different wavelength, and anybody who tries to replicate what they're doing now, especially, it's just impossible because it takes 20 years to get to this.
Correct.
Place,
There you go. Ryan Courtney. Ryan is one of them, just a terrific guy. And have I got to shake his hand? No. Have I talked to him on my show over the past year? He watches every week. He's a terrific person. He's going to be in Bali next April.
Excellent.
So,
yeah, look me up. Bali it's not small, but it's not big.
70 miles across.
Yeah.
Population of 4,300,000. Whoa, look out.
So I'm right in the center of Bali and Ubud. So that's, a lot of people go to other places and they just kind of day trip into Ubud, but I'm in Ubud. So
right.
Make sure to come say hello.
Let me ask you a question. I'm sure Bud's watching now.
Nice.
What's going on, Bud?
Bud, we need autocockers again. I think it's time.
Well, you know what?
It's happening.
You never know.
Okay.
You never know.
Good.
Yeah.
I need a sniper pump.
Yeah, Bud's a terrific guy. Yeah, Bud's a terrific guy. Bud and I go back 36 years.
Totally.
He is one of the nicest guys on the planet. He knows I love him. And I'm not afraid to say it.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize how, especially the modern day player, don't realize how he pretty much single-handedly evolved the game. Really evolved the game.
Tim Schloss for clothes.
Mm-hmm.
There was guys. That's why at the beginning of my show all the time, Oliver, I mentioned these guys. And I got a little pushback from the very beginning. And it was mostly from the younger kids. And then I told the younger kids, I said, you take these guys out of the equation, you might still have paintball, but it would be nothing like it is today. And not even close. These guys put so much time and effort and money into this back in the day, and I was grateful because I was there at the beginning with these guys, and and once I became popular, they just all came to me, and we all got together, and we have been friends for 30 some years. And,
well, you guys were the way showers. You guys were the pathfinders of the game.
And it kind of sucked back in the day because when we first started, everything was there. Everybody go, oh, it's a war game.
Totally.
Oh, it's a war game.
Totally.
And we're like, no, it's a game, And I try to tell people, I go, how many people get hurt playing paintball? They go, well, I don't know. I go, but you can't sit in bed and all that if you don't know. More people are getting hurt playing football. Totally. I could play recess and get hurt more than people in paintball.
I was having this conversation with Matt Marshall, who's obviously a big icon within the sport. Actually, it's funny because I'd like to ask your opinion on this after so long, and I'm starting to realize it now more so than ever. But I did the same thing you did. Is I said, no, it's not a war game. It's not a war game. It's not a war game. And then now Matt and Marshall and I were talking about it, and you know what? I want to just actually embrace that it maybe is a war game, and that we need to go out there and we need to pretend to play war to get this out of us so that we actually don't go do war, So we don't actually go and kill anybody or hurt anybody or, this is a really safe place. So maybe we need to just embrace it after all these years and say, okay, you know what? This is a war game. Come out, play pretend war, shoot other people, get shot, and then go out and be a really functioning member of society,
That's a theory. That's an absolute theory. Yeah, back in the days, it was a hate thing. It was incredible. And then, I think where things really turned around is when I did the show at Disney down at MGM down there, and I think that turned a lot of things around because people then thought, Disney wouldn't get involved with anything that would be bad, and
right.
ESPN wouldn't show anything that'd be bad.
Yeah.
And we knocked it out of the park with the ratings on that, and I think that helped an awful lot of paintball. But the secret to me has always been just being nice, because
human,
back in the day, when I first started playing pro, I've seen other guys that you never heard of, and you probably never ever will hear of, that were so-called pros. And I'd see kids go up to them, and they just shine them on. They just wouldn't have the time. It's like I'm on the pedestal and you're garbage. And I never thought that. I was always on an even plane with absolutely everybody.
Well, we were the kids at that time, right? So
you were
actually,
like 14.
we learned quickly, because there was a few pro player interactions at a moment where, they didn't, they were cold and they were slightly brutal and, vulgar. And we're like, okay, well, we don't want to be like that guy, And I think because of that interaction and it, as you play this thing out now over 20 something years, I'm grateful for those people, because we didn't act like that, because we learned at a young age to, be willing and open and considerate and personable with all our friends and fans. And still to this day, you've got a guy like Ryan Greenspan, who's, he's really the face of the game, and he's one of the most friendliest, open, interactive person. He's probably taught more people how to play paintball than anybody. He's still traveling and doing weekend events and clinics. And he's really touching so many people on a personal level, teaching them how to play paintball.
Yep.
And it's like, he was actually different than I was, because when I was younger, I was kind of enraptured by the bad boy, the Iron Man, like, we got to be bad, we got to beat these guys. And he was different, and now it's funny because we were just talking about this the other day. And, I think it's excellent the way that it happened, in a sense, because we transmuted that, and we became, icons of the game, and we became very friendly, willing to speak to everybody, willing to help everybody, willing to share knowledge, willing to take people under our wings and teach them. Alex jokes about it all the time, but there's been so many kids who have come onto the team, they've made excellent, and then they go get the big payday by Impact or Heat or whatever it is, So there's a little bit of a, there's a grooming thing that's occurring on Dynasty, and it's like, that's amazing, like, anybody who comes under the wing of somebody and learns something from them, and if they can take that and excel themselves into another height of their career, all bless them, and good for them. And that's kind of what's been happening. So it's amazing.
Yeah, Ryan Greenspan is a great guy too, and he's a top-notch player still. I
think he just got another gold barrel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he absolutely rocks.
He's been drawing out the possibilities of older players playing, like, he's also the way shower, and Yosh and Alex, they're in their 40s and they're still competing at a top level. When we were 30, you could not compete at a top level if you're 40. Like, there wasn't anybody, there really wasn't. They had kind of moved out. These guys are now showing that actually there's great distance in this game, and age isn't such a factor, actually. Like, it's clear what's happening now with them.
Yeah, when I actually started playing, I was 34. So you're absolutely right. So and I got to tell you, from the first time I picked up the Splatmaster, and well, actually, from the first time my partner shot me, it was on, and I was just hooked on the sport. It just, and I absolutely love it. Question again: you moved to Bali.
Yeah.
Okay. I salute you. I'm sure that 90% of the people. We got 42 people live watching right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you all too. I want to start right there. First of all, for myself, I appreciate very much you watching my show, but I appreciate very much you guys showing the respect that I feel that Oliver deserves. You do. You deserve a lot of respect for the way you played. You deserve a lot of respect for the way you act then and now. You might have been a hard case then, but you never pushed it on anybody else. Yeah. And like I try to tell everybody, you can be the best player on the planet, but if you come off the field and you're a jerk, you're not helping anybody else but yourself. You're not helping the sport.
No, no.
And you know, you get a lot of these kids are playing now. So how do the kids get there? The parents take them there. Now, if the parents are standing there and they're watching these guys coming off, swearing and acting like idiots, they're going to say, you know, this is not for you guys. We're going to go do something else.
I saw a lot of guys in their career, because my career was so long, who are really rude, not personable, not friendly. You know, actually, you didn't really like them, but they were competing against you, and you know, actually, you like to shoot them and bunker them. And then there was something happened after a certain amount of time of them being that way, that they realized, wow, nobody likes me, and I've been really a jerk for a really long time. And then they switched, and then they tried to become more personable and really friendly, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, nice to see you.
Yeah.
And then actually they didn't they didn't play as good anymore, you know, but they became more likable. So I think there was an interesting shift to observe in that, you know.
It was. So back to the ballet thing.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go to ballet?
Well, you know, Fred, it's similar, kind of paralleling your career. I did what I needed to do within the game, and I was extremely satisfied. And I was just at a kind of intersection in my life where I was curious. I was interested in kind of different things, and you know, I didn't want to continue living the life that I was living in America. So you know, and I had a great abundance of amazing friends, and it was, you know, there was a lot of good things going for me, but I knew that I needed to kind of uproot myself. I needed to have a drastic change. I needed to feast my eyes on different things, you know, kind of sink deeper into culture. And, you know, I became a little bit more into kind of spirituality and such. And Bali was a place that just nourished me in every aspect of my being, you know. Every aspect of the game. So I started to go there. Actually, I went there for paintball the first time, and then they brought us there again another time, and it was like always a little bit more time. It was like 2 days, then it was like 3 days, and then we went again. It was like 5 days, and then I went back again, and then it kept me for 3 months, and then I left, and then I came back, and then it kept me for like 5 years, you know. So it was like a relationship, you know. It was like being really in a relationship with a woman. And there is a spirit of Bali that is a very feminine spirit, and yeah, it's visceral. You can feel it. There's something, she pulls you in,
like laid back, and but you know, you can feel yourself, you know,
and kind and soft. And I was like, wow, okay, there's something, you know, there's something happening here. So
well, it gave you time to think and realize yourself.
That's
too.
right.
You know, when you're in the business, you know, because around here, you know, I love California, but you know, I'm constantly moving. It just it's a nonstop thing. So
I needed just a full life. I needed a full recreation of my whole reality. You know, becoming something from paintball, becoming like, you know, what I became. I needed to kind of, to be honest, I needed to disengage from it, and needed to let it kind of disintegrate and not be that anymore, and be, you know, kind of search a little bit deeper for who I am and what does it mean, and what am I doing here. And but then I've now started to come back. I had another business. I got into sensory deprivation tank business, and I now with the hormesis, I'm back in it, and I'm feeling this magnetism towards, you know, this thing, and I'm not gonna give it up, you know, because it is me, and I have an amazing collective of people and amazing people like you involved, and I really feel like there's something that's going to happen here, and I don't know how long it's going to take and what the exact stages of it is, but it's happening, you know. And you can, everybody who's watching and understands this and understands hormesis or understands what Dynasty's doing, there's something magnificent. We just did a documentary, you know.
I was going to bring that up in a minute.
Yeah, so that's actually why I came here. And it's just like there's potent things occurring. So I can't walk away from paintball. You just can't, you know. Look at you, you're back after a certain amount of times. Yeah,
I got it.
And so I needed to just be able to investigate into my own self for a little bit, do something different, live in a different country, third world country. I really actually, I can honestly say that everybody should go live in a third world country for a little bit, however long that is, you know, 6 months, a year, 5 years, whatever it is, because it's so different. It's so different. I just totally rewired all my neural pathways on the way I see things, the way things are supposed to be, you know, and it really helped free me internally in a sense, because I mean, it's
That's how I felt in the
confronting.
mountains. That's
It's
how I felt in the
confronting.
mountains.
Yeah,
That's
the
how I felt in the
mountains,
mountains,
same
buddy.
thing. Yeah, I guess you don't have to go to third world, but
Yeah.
you can go to some place and get something from it. Yeah.
Stephen Snow said you're officially a wizard now. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
think that's what I want to go for. Actually, yeah,
I
I
like it.
thought I wanted to be the best paintball player, but now I actually want to be a wizard.
Yeah. You know, we got.
Let's see if I can get there. Okay,
We got Rick
Steven, hold me
Sandias
accountable.
watching it. Remember
Yes,
Rick Sandias?
of course.
Let me tell you something about Rick. Rick is still a top-notch player.
I love that.
I mean, he's still thin. You know, I mean, the little guys are fast. I mean, the guy's got to run around the shower to get wet.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is still a top-notch player. Absolutely. And he's a great guy, too.
Totally. He was on the Ironman. I think I'd met.
Still
Rick.
is. He's on the OG Ironman now.
Love that. I think I met him at Mare Island once or twice. We played on the speedball field together.
Yeah, he actually played on Constant Pursuit. You know, he came on Constant Pursuit and he guested him and Michael Beard. You know, Michael Machine Gun Mike.
I've heard Machine Gun Mike, but I never met him.
Yeah, He's his dad actually started the Ironman.
Amazing.
Rick Beard is the guy.
I've seen a photo of this team.
Yeah, Rick Beard actually started, and the reason they called it the Ironman is because Rick Beard was an iron worker.
Totally.
That's how they started out with the Ironman.
That's funny.
And then, you know, after it got going and so, and then Bob Long took it over, and then, you know, then Youngblood had the one down there. Youngblood played on Constant Pursuit.
That's
also.
right. So who was your favorite player or the best player at that time for you?
Wow, that's a kind of a weird question because you know, I had a lot of guys that I liked an awful lot.
But who was
Marty,
the most talented player you think at that time?
Gosh, there's Marty Bush was very, very good.
Yeah.
He could rock. Marty always, and he was a good guy too. You know, but he would always rock with a pump gun. You know, he'd go out there with a pump gun, and everybody else had the semis after a while, and he'd go out and rock that. And then there was a guy named Edge Kopacek, who was a terrific player back then. And Michael Beard. Mike played really, really good. He was back in the day. He could really, really play. His dad started the team, and he was on the team. And then when Bob took it over, Mike stayed with Ironman.
Yeah.
And then I had Dave Youngblood, who was on Constant Pursuit. And then he went and played with the Ironman. And he kind of took over and had the Southern. You know,
Yeah.
So it just.
But Dave was really good.
Dave was okay. Would I say Dave was a top-notch player? No, I would.
But
not.
Marty Bush.
I would say Marty Bush.
Well,
definitely was.
I got to play with Marty Bush
And Daryl Trent. You know, Daryl Trent.
Yeah.
You know, Daryl Trent. We played a lot of big games together. We still go back and forth because Tim Schloss had big games back in the day, and there was no better big games than the ones Tim Schloss had.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 2 of them a month. People flew me everywhere to do. I was gone all the time.
So are you doing big games now?
Actually, doing the tournaments. I'm part owner of the WCPL now.
Okay.
They brought me in. We did the first tournament here. And am I going to do some big games? Yes, because I got to tell you, one thing I love about big games is there's just no pressure. I just go out there and, you know, I don't have sponsors watching me. I don't have, you know, there's just no pressure. And back in the day, you know, and I'm sure you've gone through it too, and people don't understand it until they're actually there. You can tell somebody about it and they go, yeah. But, you know, you got your sponsors watching you. You got the other teammates watching you. You got people coming out watching. Everybody expects more from you each time that you do something. You know, you can excel at absolutely anything, but then they want more next time. So you know, you were talking about you clearing your head and belly. Man, I could tell you, just talking to you has been clearing my head. So, you know, I think I think you dragged some belly along here with you, my friend.
You sprinkled a little bit of your magical goodness at the Mare Island, and I think we took that by osmosis, you know. So now it's reciprocity, and now we're both kind of thriving off each other.
Well, you took it and ran. That's for sure. That's for sure. You know, and I mean, look at people. You know, that's live, and we get most of our views tomorrow.
Cool.
You know, because you know, it's late 30 on the East Coast, and it's in the middle of the night overseas. You know, because they watch us like in 10 different countries.
Cool.
And when I put out the post, and I only put out the post yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
So within 19 hours, we had over 3,100 reaches.
Amazing.
So yeah. And it wasn't because of me, I mean,
It's a teamwork.
it is, and you see somebody up there.
Kiko, yeah.
No, not Kiko.
Tim Schloss.
How about saying hi to Tim Schloss?
Let's do it.
What is going on, Tim?
Just got home from babysitting the inmates.
I love it. Tim's a grandfather. He's got some great grandkids. Wait, what do you think of this guy, Tim?
I'm telling you, it's very refreshing. I really can't tell you how great it sounds just to listen to your attitude, Ollie. You got your head on straight.
Thanks, brother. Thank you. Well, in a way, you've inspired that also.
Well, it's just it's really, it makes you feel good because I mean, I personally got out of it in 2001, got back in it when I turned 70 just to play again, and I got away because of the infighting and stuff. And I listened to you and and Fred, and it's just everybody's got the right attitude, or we're working towards the right attitude now. I mean, there's room in this thing for everybody, but
That's
as long as we've got respect and love for each other, this thing's going to go on forever.
Totally, and I like that. There is really room, and there's enough to go around, and everybody has a part in it, and it's like we have to nourish that and get everybody activated to do their part. It's that simple.
Yeah. It's the infighting, It's the infighting that just doesn't help the sport. That's the bad part,
And I'll tell you something else that I don't get is we are I think we undersell just how big an influence we really are as far as an industry. This is a big business, and we do have a lot of. I don't think that we understand just how big we are and what we can do and what we can accomplish. Everybody, I mean, personally, right now, I own a paintball field, and everybody goes, "That's just a paintball field." Well, no, it's a paintball business.
Totally.
And it's just getting people to get that attitude that this really is a legitimate deal.
Yeah, I mean, well, also the paintball field is the first kind of line of defense in a sense, right? It's like that's the first place where you're going to meet and interact. And I was talking to Kiko about this. It's like you need actually the most important person in a sense is not only the owner of the paintball field, but the guy at the paintball field who's going to check you in, who's going to give you a gun, who's going to show you how to play, who's going to make sure you have a good time, so that fosters you to come back and want more and experience more. And then you meet the next person, and then you do this, and then you buy this gun, and then you join this team, and then you become a amateur player, then a pro player. So there's a whole sequence of events that need to occur. And so it's like those people who are there at the field, those people are actually the most important. They're the first line, right? They're the first people that people are going to see.
Exactly. And that's where the impression needs to be made, And Tim and I, we go back a lot of years, huh?
88 or 89, but well, you know what? Here's the deal with the fields. It's like planting a crop. You can't harvest that crop when it's just starting to sprout out of the ground.
Totally.
You've got to let it go to fruition.
Totally.
And you get these field guys that a kid goes out there for his first time, and you get a bunch of guys just tear them up. We just walked all over the crop before it even had a chance to blossom.
That's a great analogy. That's a really perfect analogy of putting it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, because back in the day, you made the best tiger stripe out there. I mean,
we're getting ready to make it again too.
I know all about it, my brother.
That's
I know
cool.
all about it. Yeah, and when I got hooked up with you, you were already selling clothes. I mean,
we've been selling to the military since '84.
Amazing.
I mean, we've got uniforms all over the world, and
where do you?
This business just evolved. I mean, we took it. We didn't think it was serious, and then all of a sudden the numbers were better than what we were doing on a lot of the smaller contracts. And
amazing.
That's what we split the business, and my business partner took the military business, and I took the recreational business.
And you took me.
I've never regretted it.
Yeah, you took me, man, and I appreciate that.
Well, that was a gamble.
I love you.
So where do you?
Did it pay off?
Well, I don't know, maybe.
So we got something going right now.
I love that. You guys got a little friendly.
You're not coming in this weekend, are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to come in this weekend. Yeah.
I'm picking Bud up at the airport on Thursday. I was going to say I'll pick you up too if you needed it.
Yeah, no, Bud's watching he's watching the show right now too.
Tell him I had the car valeted for him.
Yeah, you guys have a good time this weekend, man.
We will. And one of these days, Oliver, I'd like to sit down and have lunch with you.
Oh, totally. It'd be a pleasure. I'd love to learn about your process and the story behind Tiger Stripe and how you did it, because we're kind of in a similar infancy, you know. We're actually, you're gonna love this. We're making some really cool jackets that are like, you know, I remember back in the day, you know, you'd see it's like you'd walk in the field, you see Rick Santeos, he'd be wearing his Tiger Stripe jacket with his patches.
I got all mine.
You know, and
I still
I
got all
told
the
you I wanted
original
one.
stuff. Yeah.
And I said, you know, you see these guys and you really put them into this kind of, wow, these guys are doing it.
Yeah.
So we're making these really cool jackets, and hopefully that we can, you know, kind of, I don't know, inspire that sort of energy again, right? So I'd love to learn your
I'm
process.
going to tell you, with the values that you and Alex have got in your integrity, you're going to do fine.
Thank you.
I mean, no, seriously, you'll do fine. If there's ever anything I can help you,
You should make one Tiger Stripe jacket.
Just let me know.
Excellent.
You'd let him make a Tiger Stripe jacket, wouldn't you? As limited.
I'll let him do anything he wanted, man.
Cool.
You know?
I really
am kind of protective of who we associate with anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've watched you guys. Weren't you guys originally? Were you the Hostile Kids?
No, we were the Iron Kids.
Iron Kids.
Yeah,
I remember when you guys came up, man. You guys were smoking from the first time I saw you guys, and then we kind of got out of it, and I just watched you guys grow.
Thank you.
I mean, it's you guys have done something right. I'll tell you, I've never seen, you know.
Yeah, they still are too.
Well,
you know?
we let the.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, I was going to go over and watch him in Orlando. When I was in Florida. We were down there for a month, and it rained so bad I didn't want to go over there. I was staying down in Tampa. But
Smart.
Hey, we kicked butt that weekend, didn't we?
at the restaurants.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. You know, I'm sitting there. I mean, we came back. They had a great time, always do. And I'm sitting there working out at the paintball field. This regular comes up and goes, "Hey, I heard you're getting ready to go to New York and get your asses kicked." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "We've never lost a tournament." And he just looked at me with this stupid look. I said, "Have you ever hung with us?" He goes, "No." I go, "You hang with us. You tell me if we lost."
Nah, he'd never hang with us.
No.
That doesn't sound like.
People don't understand the relationships and the fun, and it's what it's all about.
He's talking about the band. We have a team called the Band.
I love that.
Yeah, and you know what? Tim actually got it going, and then Tim called me up and goes, "Freddy, let's go play." And then another friend of ours, Bill Bailey, calls me up. He goes, "Well, we got to have a name. We got to have a name." And I said, "Well, let's put the band back together." And what did we do? We got Bud, Colby, you, Bailey, Gino, David Bell, Thomas G.
That's cool, man.
Oh yeah, that's our team, and I'm the captain.
That's cool.
So yeah,
That's
so
cool.
we
I turned 70, Oliver, 2 years ago, and that's what I did for my birthday. I went out and played paintball again.
That's inspiring. That's inspiring.
You know what sucks is I got to call him sir because he's 2 months older than I am.
We put 3 guys in the hospital at the last tournament. One pulled a leg muscle, one of them overheated, and another one I forget what happened to Doc, and he's 79.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you and I played every game.
Yeah, we did.
Absolutely, brother.
Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to the show. I just, it was inspirational to listen to Ollie, and you got the right attitude, and between you and Fred, I'll tell you, you guys need to link up and just get this thing pointed in the right direction.
Totally, I agree, and thank you so much for the call, and that it really means a lot to me, and I really look forward to chatting with you again one day on a deeper level.
Thank you, Ollie. Bye-bye.
Love you, brother.
See you.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, you guys have really actually.
That was Mr. Tim Schloss, everybody that didn't know that. Tim Schloss is the originator of Tiger Stripe, and there's a new Tiger Stripe coming out. Hang tight. It might even be here the end of this week. We'll see what's happening. And this is an original Tiger Stripe. This is the original 3 fingers, the original color. It's not the knockoff.
Wow, that's cool.
And Tim said that if you wanted to make some jackets, which you talked about one time, he would be more than happy to let you do that with the original colors. Yeah, the original everything.
I'd love to know their process and how they do it. Yeah, I love that.
That's respect. Yeah. Because he doesn't do that to anybody.
We'll have to do a trade. We'll have to get one of his original, and I'll give him the Hormesis one.
That would be pretty cool. I've actually got I've got some of the original Tiger Stripe when I first started playing. because I met the guy. It was funny too. I met him at the very first professional tournament I ever played at, Jim Lively's Masters.
Yeah.
And every game we went there as 15 man, and it was pump. And we went there didn't expecting to do anything. But next thing we know, we were rocking, man. And we just tearing everybody up. And after every game, this guy come up and he go, oh, you guys are doing great. You're doing great. And he walk away, and I go, who was this guy? And everybody goes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, anyhow, it was Tim Schloss, and we ended up almost winning that tournament. But the Ironman, we didn't expect. We only had so much paint. We didn't expect to get to the finals. The Ironman came up, gave us all their paint because they were knocked out of the game. And
that's some team. That's some. I like that team unity.
Yeah, but us and the Ironmen, we practice together every weekend, just about Black Sunday, all of us. So that's what I try to share a little bit, Oliver, with some of the kids out there today. Some kids love to sit and listen to it, the past, and some kids have no time for it. And that's a shame, because I'm just one of them guys, and I'm an old guy, but I swear to God, if I hear somebody talking about paintball, something that I don't know, I'm the first guy to put my ear up and listen, because I just want to learn.
Totally.
It's just something about the love of the sport.
Yeah, you need to have that sort of interest, right? And that curiosity. And even like, I love it because I'm weaving to get parts of the story that I don't know, and you're piecing them together, and I'm like, oh wow, and I'm starting to see it unfold. So I think it's definitely very important to know the current situation, and then know all the past as much as you possibly can. And that's why you need and don't take this with any disrespect, but we need elders like you in our lives that have done it and have showed the way and know how to do it. And then we can come in and say, hey, how do you do it? Can you help me? What did you do?
Real quick, Andy McLean, if you're not watching Mr. Fred shows, you really are missing out for sure. Andy, thank you so much. But I love my shows. I love doing a podcast, but having guys like this on, to me it's a win-win thing. And Oliver, you're obviously not as old as I am, obviously. But the point being is, I still learned a lot from you. A lot of stuff that you've done that I was never aware of, and that I just absolutely, I treasure learning it, number one. But number two, I just holler you for it. I just think it's just absolutely terrific. Some of this stuff,
It means a lot. I mean, look, we're all in this together, right? It's like despite ages, despite ages and all these things. So it really means a lot to hear that. Yeah. Well, and I'm going to continue on, and Alex, you can continue on. We're going to keep doing these things that we need to do for the community and for the sport.
Well, you're bringing people together. Like I said earlier about the headbands. You started the headbands because everybody needs a headband. Yeah. But it turned into something special. It turned into. It's just not a headband. No, it's something that when you put it on, my wife, real quick, I know we're running out of time here, guys. My wife has her, I was absolutely graced by these guys to make a series of headbands in my name. And, it's something that I have no words to tell them how grateful I am. But this is my wife's headband. And she knew I was coming down here, and she knew these guys were going to be on it. I had to keep the box in the plastic bag. I wasn't allowed to take the whole thing. She took everything else out. I could only take the headband, and it was signed by Oliver and Alex.
Yeah, look at that.
So my wife is going to be in hog heaven.
That's an honor for me,
Oh, it's an honor for her. She when she found out that you guys were honoring me with the headband, and then she found out that I named the first one after her, it blew her away. It was I ate good for a week. It was great.
Well, this is also really meaningful for us too, because our whole thing when we started this project was we wanted to kind of commemorate players, and we didn't know how to do it. And then kind of intuitively, we started to name a few bands with some players' last names, right? So we, it was like, we called it the Uchik or the Strodinger or whatever it was, right? And then that was kind of our way of like, hey, we saw you, you helped us. Here's your name, and hopefully this carries on for a long time and somebody will honor it and keep it or wear it or trade it or whatever it is. And then we said, well, we should do signature lines because that will really allow us to commemorate some players. And then it was like, I seen you and I said, wow, we got to do a Fred Schultz because this guy did so much for the sport for so long that, you know, he needs to be remembered. And then it was like, it was such an honor when we did it. And of course you had the show and we had already met and talked. And, but when we released it, I really felt it. I really felt there was like a tremendous amount of a resurgence of Fred Schultz within the modern paintball community. And people know now who you are and what you've done and how valuable that is. So it's like, in a sense, we're resurrecting people who might have been, you know, pushed to the wayside to a certain degree. And we're still doing that now. Even we don't just honor the best players. We're honoring super cool people in the industry. Yeah.
There you go.
People who have done something for the sport. Like we're just about to do a Jacko. I don't know if you know Jacko, but he was he was a little bit after you, I think.
No, he was out there with us.
He was out there with you, yeah,
absolutely.
And so
I met him over in England.
Yeah. So he did the Jacko barrels for the first WDP guns, and you know he was part of Planet Eclipse, and you know he's a legend. You know he's like amazing human being who inspired us. And you know this is just our way of kind of putting that out there into the community. Say, hey, this guy's a really important guy, and you need to know who he is. You need to remember him, and you need to treat him with some honor and respect when you see him, you know? And so that was amazing to be able to do that for you. And, you know, I think we're going to continue on with the signature lines of kind of touching in on these types of folks and deeply who have inspired Alex and I.
Yeah,
you know?
I just get, I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciated that. And as far as Jocko, I was one of the first guys, Schloss and I were one of the first guys to go over and play overseas.
That's
we started doing that. And, Jocko was there and Marcus Davis, who still plays with the Predators.
I love that story you told me. Maybe you can share it with, I think it was Marcus Davis, that I want to be the European Fred Schultz.
Yeah, and Marcus will tell you that too. And matter of fact,
and what did you tell him?
I told him there's no secret. The only secret I knew about was just being nice to people. And he did it. And what is Marcus now? He is the Fred Schultz of England.
So anybody who's listening, if you want to make it, be really nice to people,
Just like that.
Really great to each other.
Just like that.
And you'll be remembered for eternity in that sense.
Absolutely.
And it'll probably make you a better paintball player, and you'll probably get on better teams. And then when you're playing against each other, you can be a little bit competitive. But then when you get off the field, treat each other with some dignity and respect.
It gives you a better self feeling. I don't know.
What you put out in the world comes back to you.
And for some reason, I open doors for my wife. I never walk through a door when there's a woman there. I never walk through a door first. I let them walk through a door, and it's got nothing to do with anything other than making myself feel better. And that's how I work it. It sounds dumb, and I'm sure you young guys are going out there, what a schmuck, but it is what it is.
Well, it's like
I like it. It's a respect for myself.
They say whatever they say the word is the most powerful thing. So if you're actually speaking words, like if you're saying hateful things or negative things to people, the unfortunate reality is actually that ripples through you first. You know that, right?
Correct. Yep.
So it's a very, in a sense, a very selfish way to be really nice to people and to tell them that you love them and how great they are, because actually it's coming through you first, and all the cells are catching a little bit of that. And so if you're just spouting negativity, unfortunately, you're getting hit with that first. So it's what you put out into the world, you receive.
I am going to see if I can do this here.
He's a professional photographer too.
Yeah,
Which way? This way?
I don't know. There we go.
That's the back of my head.
Yeah, we'll get together right there. Love it. Well, Oliver, we've run over our hour. I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate you coming on my show tonight.
Anytime.
It's been an absolute treat. So I'm going to let you say goodbye first, everybody.
Anytime. Yeah, honestly, I'm here for you. I'm here for your community. We need to bridge all the community of the paintball world, and anything you need from me ever, I'm here for you. I appreciate you and what you've done for the sport. I really, really do.
Right back at you.
Really love that you're back in it and that you're inspiring me to play when I'm 70 years old, and anybody that's out there watching, I guess you're never too old for this sport.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are the testament.
Absolutely. And you know what? you know, we're talking about that real quick here. Only people that are respected are on the band. Tim Schloss. I would like to make you a member of the band.
Amazing.
You are
So
going
Butter's on my team?
Bud Orr, I'm the captain.
Okay.
Bud Orr, Tim Schloss, Dan Colby from Immortal Air, Gino from Belkin,
Amazing.
David Bell, he put out the View Loader.
Amazing.
Yeah, all of these guys are on the team.
Amazing.
And now you are on the team. All right?
This could go right
This is the newest
The
band
band.
member. Yep. And the band is a proud organization.
Amazing. And
A constant pursuit.
is this an original one or these are
No, that's not original.
these are newer ones?
Yeah. But it's pretty close to the original.
I've seen these and
Yep.
these are fantastic. So
Yep.
I love it.
But this one right here, you're with us now. So
It's kind of the Grateful Dead. Or you did it
yeah,
before.
let me tell you something. No. Let me start there. When we first started the team, we didn't have a patch to get out there and play our first tournament.
Yeah.
It was the Grateful Dead.
No way.
Swear to God. Matter of fact, I got pictures of it. It had the Grateful Dead and it said Constant Pursuit, Below California on it.
Fantastic.
And then we did that for the first two tournaments. And then my wife drew this and she made it look really mean. And I go, I don't want it to look
drew
mean.
this?
My wife's an artist, yeah. I says, I don't want it to look so mean. I just want it to look like it's there. So she redid it like that. That's
I
how it
love
ended up.
that. That's the type of story that I love. Like your wife draws you your paintball team's logo.
She did.
And then it's immortalized in a sense because now I have it and I'm gonna wear it.
Right on.
I love your wife.
Proud.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for both.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't play
the
on
newest
paintball team
band
except
member.
for the band.
Now you know all of these guys are going to get a hold of you and say congratulations.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm
This
waiting for a call from Bud Orr.
You want to say hi to Bud real quick?
It's been a long time.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, but
Jump in.
I gotta bomb this right here. I'm sorry, but cover his face. It's me.
Remember the team? Are you
That
on the
just
band?
happened.
You're on the band with us, right?
No. Oh no.
We got to get him on the band.
No. Let's see.
He's been promised me for a year now.
Okay.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't promised you.
But you're on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am the constant pursuit.
Yeah,
Whatever the endeavor.
Yeah,
I love
Just go do it,
I
right?
said you're allowed to hang around with us, and that's it. I love you. What's going on, Bud? I am sitting here.
Are you next to my buddy Ollie?
I am right here next to him right now.
Oh, Bud, it's so nice to hear your voice. I can see your face when you speak. It's been so long, though.
I made him a member of the band, Bud.
I know. I just gave him a congratulations.
It's official.
No, that's awesome.
Oh, is it on there? Where is it?
I'm speechless. It's
Well-
just awesome.
Well, Bud, I just really want to say thank you to you, too, and all you've done for the sport. And, man, you're just such a legend of the game. I would love to do a Bud or Hormesia signature line with you, too, if you're interested in that.
Anytime.
Let him do it.
Anytime.
Yeah, he'll let you do
I
it.
mean, yeah, you're one of the legends of the sports, and I just can't say enough about you, man.
I remember we came to your house one time. We had a barbecue. I remember.
Yeah.
James
Yeah.
Stephen, he is a band member.
Excellent,
You're
James.
welcome here anytime you know.
Are you-
Anytime you want.
Okay, good to
You
know.
that.
I love that. Well, we're on the same paintball team now, so it's official.
That's so. I'm stoked.
Hey, but we got only the best on the band. Am I right?
Oh hell yeah! the top dog.
I
There
love
you
that.
go.
The top dog.
Absolutely.
Top dogs.
Well, I wanted to call you so you could say hi to him real quick because I seen you on there, and you always come up as Facebook user.
I tried calling you earlier, but you had a voicemail or one set up or something.
Oh, you probably called when Schloss was calling.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I wanted to beat him to it, but Tim, I love you. Love you, Ollie.
Love you too, bud. Really nice to talk to you. So much appreciation for you.
Oh no, it's I'm stoked, man. I mean, God, and you know what? You don't get old. you never get older.
I got a secret potion. It's called a lot of happiness.
Oh yeah, well.
You got that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I love it.
Right on, brother.
Hey Fred, this has been an awesome show, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Top of the line, always top of the line. It's just,
Hey, I gotta go because you're over time.
I love you,
Love
man.
you both. Love you both.
Love you
man.
too, bud.
Take care.
Good to chat with you. You take care. We'll see
You
each
tell
other
Kathy.
soon.
Tell Kathy I said hi.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, she's sitting here next to me. She's taking it all in. So.
Right on.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you, brother.
Much love, bud. See you.
Bye bye. All right, everybody. That was none other than Mr. Bud Orr. You know, I mean, you don't even have to talk about Bud. You just got to say the name and just
I mean,
so much
he
pops
did it.
into my mind, everything like that.
He's like he did it. You know,
He's the man.
He's the one who brought really the game into the speed of where it is.
Absolutely. He's and you know what? He is still. You should see him play. He goes to these big games and he plays 5-6 hours in these babies. The guy is still a steamer. Absolutely love it.
Does he have like a whole museum of autocockers? Because that would be
Oh my
interesting to
God!
see.
You got to go to his house.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! I can't begin to tell you. You go out, he's got a workshop. Anyhow, his house. You know, next time I'm down there, but I want a golf cart because it took so long to walk across his house. But anyhow, and then he's got his shop. Now this isn't his warehouse. His warehouse is back behind.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is all just beautiful. But he's got his workshop. I think is 9,000 square feet or something like that. And you walk in there, he's got his motorcycles, his side by sides. He's just got everything. And then you walk around the corner into his little shop, and I bet there's 500 autocockers.
No way.
Oh, let me tell you. And I got
my
pictures.
gosh.
Matter of fact, I got pictures at the beginning of my show where I'm standing there with a few guys, Frog and them guys. Greg Hastings, you know, Greg.
No way.
Yeah. So anyhow, and he's got the first one that he did. You have to see this thing, man. It's just incredible.
Oh my
But the
gosh.
man is just terrific. You know, maybe sometime when you're here, we can do a road trip, go down there and bug the heck out of him.
Totally. Let's do it. Yeah.
I'd love it.
I want to go step into that room full of autocockers.
Oh,
see what that feels like.
you know what? I walked out of there and my chin was bleeding from dragging on the concrete because my jaw just dropped. It was incredible, man. Very cool. So
funny.
you know what? One more time. First of all, I want to congratulate my new band member.
Yes, thank you.
And I want to thank you one more time for coming on tonight, man.
It was such a treat.
I absolutely loved it. And people were chiming in and saying it was absolutely terrific.
No, it's so good.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I know you guys on the East Coast, some of you had to die off, but I appreciate it so very, very much tonight. And one more time, I have to thank Oliver for coming on. It's been a long time. So I did the show with him before, and I just could not wait to do this. And I got to tell you, I love all you guys out there. And please, everybody, stay safe out there. Until next Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook on Flagpole Productions. Play hard, play safe, play fair, but get out there and let's play paintball, huh? All right, everybody. Bye now.
That was it.